Okay, first espresso. Check. Second espresso. Check.
Are you using tea or yours?
Kevin's, I think he's alright with the one that we got, so I'll just give him mine once, you know, whatever. It doesn't seem worth it to maintain two different containers, you know?
Well, your container would just go in one of these.
Yeah, and I would have to grind it separately. That's not a big deal. Lindsay, would you mind, putting that in the compost?
I realized, with coffee, didn't we have this discussion at some point? What's the reason you can't put coffee in compost? Is it like super?
There's no reason. It's just that it's like full of water, and like I didn't want to spill it all over the place.
Oh, I thought it was because it was super basic.
So
Yeah, I thought it was something. I don't know how to remove it.
oh, done.
Yeah.
So the main reason is because if you just turn it over, well,
You're currently just dripping it everywhere.
one of the reasons, but then also if you just turn it over, this falls out and into the compost and it's real gross. But you can't hold it because it's boiling hot.
Coffee is basic, not acidic, right?
Coffee is
Coffee's very acidic.
Coffee's very acidic.
False. Acidic.
I knew it hurt the tummy, I just couldn't remember how.
Well, it can hurt the tummy.
The universal tummy. The tummy of the human experience. What am I doing? I need to look up
Philosophizing about the tummy of the human experience.
tummy
The
of
tummy of the human experience. Wow.
Tummy of the human experience is pretty upset. Pretty upset.
Yeah, the tummy of the human experience is definitely upset in 2020.
The 2020 tummy of the human experience is like that one day in the esport when everyone gets dysentery.
The 2020
Ew, no.
of the human experience would be a fucking great name for an indie rock song.
Just the splatters all over. A green apple splatters.
I agree.
Why are you booing me? I'm right.
Boo.
Boo.
Boo this man.
Hannibal Buress, right?
No, boo.
Wait, Brent, did you call him Hannibal Berberes?
What's his name?
Is he a North African pirate?
Yeah, it's Hannibal Buress.
No. What was the name of his show? I always just saw GIFs of it, but I never watched TV, so I didn't ever know if it was.
I don't know. I just call it the Bill Cosby's an asshole show.
I
We've
mean, I know
already
he was
done-
on the Eric Andre show. Is that
hey
it?
guys, we've already. Oh yes, that is the show I'm thinking of. That's where like a lot of the GIFs came from. We've already done How Does Your Character Treat People in Service Jobs, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yep.
I need to roll a new one.
Alright, can we fill this real quick and I'll turn it off so it's not left.
Okay, I've got a good one. Give me just a second. I've got a whole, like, thread. Alright guys, are you ready for this?
Yes.
Shoot.
Does your character feel that they deserve to have what they want, be it material or abstract, or do they feel that they must earn it first? And I feel like that's naturally inclined to go in a direction of like, oh, does your character feel entitled? But I think there's also a degree of like, do you think that your character feels that they are deserving of love, or do you think they have like a complex where they feel like they have to earn, things before? Does your character feel guilty if they get something without feeling like they earned it? I feel like those are the two sides to the question. So, whoever comes up with a good answer first, shout it out.
Yes, Ruda definitely has a complex. He definitely thinks he's deserved everything, but deep down there's a complex. It's all stemming from his father.
He does
Give him zero praise.
Because I was gonna say, I would expect Ruda to feel like he needs to earn everything because of his relationship with his
He
father.
absolutely feels like he needs to earn everything because that's how his father raised
Okay,
him.
cool. I must have misheard you the first time. Yeah, that's a good answer.
Roy is utilitarian. So the concept of somebody deserving something doesn't even really enter into his mind. Everything is cause and effect to Roy.
Okay. Either he has the thing or he doesn't have the thing, and he will get the thing.
Yeah, so even if somebody has something which they're undeserving of, or they're privileged and they have it because of that, he would view the causes not being associated directly with the individual, but it's still being a situation of cause and effect. This kid has a rich parent and an easy life because their parents exploited all of these people, blah, 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 ergo, they have privilege. It's not really a thing of do they deserve it or not, it's just what is.
Yeah, they just have it.
Yep.
There's no value judgment. It's
Yeah,
just
the only value judgment that he really has is about biologicals versus synthetic life.
Sure.
So, yeah.
I really want to hear what Aveline's take on this is.
She's brewing something. Hold on.
In front of me, I currently have a large cup of tea, a cup of cold water, a cup of espresso, a container of salsa, a big cup of soup, and a bag of chips.
Nice.
And my laptop, phone, battery, and spoon.
Soon I'm gonna have boneless chicken wings.
I'm excited for you.
Can you restate the question, Bryn? Sorry. We were talking about it while we were muted.
Does your character feel that they deserve to have what they want, be it material or abstract, or do they feel that they must earn it first? And because I think that that naturally inclines itself to a reading of does your character feel entitled, I feel it's important to point out that the other side of it is, does your character feel like they do not deserve things because they have not earned them? Stuff like that.
Is Anae still brewing, or can I jump in?
You can jump in. if you like.
Yeah, you go ahead and jump in. I'm still getting it together. Sorry.
Okay, yeah, no worries. If you had something, I didn't want to jump over.
Hey, I'm sorry. I need to come back in 5 minutes. I need to go get my groceries.
Okay, cool. Go bone up. Or bone out.
Boneless out. He's getting
Boneless. Yeah, both of them suck. I could have made that better. So yeah, listening to Roy's answer, I'd like to think that Mate thinks of these things in very like binary terms. These things exist or they don't exist. But I'd like to add a little bit of spin on that. I definitely believe that there is still code running in Mate that makes them believe that they are deserving of everything in the universe.
Oh wow.
Like at a very like molecular level, everything belongs to the network, and that
Yeah.
kind of instills in Mate a need to collect, which is why Mate is
Sure.
also a hoarder because
Right,
these things
and I
belong
feel
to Mate.
spin on that. What about, because Mate also has a big sense of justice and I would say obligation to people around him. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely. I think that's where the conflict comes from, and why when the shrouded woman showed up, it was such a big deal for Mate. They constantly run into issues with their programming, and it's kind of like that. What is that? You know the scene in RoboCop where they show the prime directives. And it's like, hey, I can do all these things, and then like number 4 is like, hey, I can never be mean to people from OCP. It's kind of like that. Like my last prime directive is like, I have to do shit that the network tells me.
Oh god.
That's interesting. All right,
But like
that
the other
answer.
things are there too. So it's like over time I've built up this sense of justice and this sense of like wanting to protect my friends and wanting to have these objects. But yeah, I don't think at my core I could go against the network. Not
Right.
without doing some wild stuff.
So, assuming we still have to wait on Anais, we could hear.
I wanted to
from-
add one little thing
Yeah.
to Roy, because I was thinking about what Mikhail just said. So, Roy does have a concept of something deserving. Oh, let me rephrase. Because Roy's belief in cause and effect is so through and through, when he can't identify a cause for something, it produces like, I wouldn't say rage, but a severe level of frustration in him.
Visceral reaction.
Yeah, so he is really bad with dealing with loss, particularly when he doesn't understand why something that he had or something that he was doing was unsuccessful or is no longer present. So this, and I bring this up because this is part of what frustrates Roy so much about his existence. He doesn't understand why he is the way that he is. He doesn't know the cause of what he is. He just knows the effect, and that drives him nuts.
Okay.
As nuts as it could drive a synthetic intelligence.
Mm.
Did you ever think about trying to like write a script that would get rid of that?
Well, Roy is in an organic body, so
Well, couldn't you just like hypnotize yourself into not thinking that? Like some like
I
deep
wouldn't see
state
Roy as
hypnosis?
believing in hypnosis, though.
Really?
I mean,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I think that Roy would see that as some sort of like biological misdirection,
Okay.
a trick of the hand, a sleight of the hands. He
Alright,
doesn't
no,
really.
I respect
Yeah.
that.
But it would be hilarious if we got into a situation where Roy was actually hypnotized and started acting like a chicken.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I just figured that, like you could do like the liquid snake to yourself and pretend that
Bok.
you're another dude,
Bok, bok. Bok, bok.
and then we
Okay,
just have
back.
to walk around with you as a giant chicken.
Yeah. Or even better, a chocobo. All of a sudden, Roy's just. Aveline?
I think that Aveline, like, it's probably like, I don't want to say it's a weird mixture of both. I would say that because she's friends with Otema, she knows that she should feel like she deserves things, and probably more so after she earns it. But I would think that because of her experiences and like just like this constant like back and forth of trying to get closer to Nox and it always blowing up in her face, she probably just has a lot of bad feelings left over from that. And so like she's more prone to be like, no, I don't deserve these things, because if I did, they would probably already be a thing, and since I can't facilitate them, that probably means I don't.
do you think there's a degree of maybe instead of it being that she doesn't feel worthy of the things she gets, maybe it's more that she feels suspicious when things do go well?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I like that. Okay.
Amil, I actually think that one of the aspects of, like, Nova belief system is like has a strong karmatic element to it. So,
I like that.
There's kind of like a understanding in, or like maybe proverbs or stuff that's said about like,
Sure.
if you get something that you didn't earn, like, that's fine. You will be paying for it down the line somewhere.
Well, and
You will, if you get something now that you earn everything you get either by paying it up front or by paying the karmatic price in the future.
I like that idea of earning it, and that's really interesting because you can then extrapolate that into if something good happens to you and you don't feel that you've done something good recently to deserve it,
It's kind of like,
then
don't worry about it. You'll pay for it in the future.
but it means, well, you have an option to avoid having something bad happen to you by doing charity now to like pay for, like retroactively pay for the thing that just happened to you.
Yeah, I think that's a way that like that Amil thinks about it.
I think that's interesting. It reminds me of the like okay, I only know like a cheap, shitty version of this, but it's a little bit like how if somebody, you know, hears that a loved one just got like a negative diagnosis on some bad disease, they might then donate to charity.
Maybe, yeah.
I like that. Okay, so F through.
Can I ask Amila a quick follow-up about that?
Yes, go for it.
Do you believe in the concept of paying it forward? Like, I hold the door open for you, later in the day you have to hold the door open for someone else?
I don't think that Amil has like a rigid belief system, but it's kind of like always in the back of his head. Like he was taught this as a kid, so he's always, not as a kid, but they're not really kids, but
as a
fresh novaling.
I'm trying to think of a good atomic term for. Is there a term for cells when they start to divide?
Yeah, but I don't know any biology, so.
Mitosis?
Yeah, I mean I think that's the whole process.
Oh, my toastling.
Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, Amil just kind of like has in the back of his head, like it's not a strong belief, but it's just kind of like there.
Okay. Duly noted.
25%. And let me zoom into 100% now to make sure. Yeah, that's a good scale. Alright, I just imported a map that we're going to be using for today's game. I just need to trim it. And there we go. Enter. Come on. Come on. Sorry. Almost done, almost done.
We should still be on like the large
For now,
world
yeah.
map, right? Okay.
Yeah, we haven't moved to whatever like other location we're gonna go to yet, right?
Yep, that's what I'm working on right now.
Word.
Okay. Now, the quality's fine. So open roll 20. No, I will not do push-ups. You can't make me.
Friend, it's karma. You don't have to do push-ups now.
Yeah, but you have to do them later.
Yeah, you have to do them later.
If something's telling you you have to do push-ups, you have to do them. That's just the law.
Yep.
That is the universal human stomach speaking to you.
Not that guy. Nope.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
No.
My thing the other day was I needed to do either push-ups or sit-ups, and I was in the middle of playing Final Fantasy, and I didn't want to stop, so I just held my controller and put the laptop on the floor and laid on my back and did sit-ups, and every time I got to the top of the sit-up, I would play for like 1 second before I got back down. I think that says a lot about who I am as a person.
Didn't want to have to say it. You said it yourself.
Okay. So let me turn on Fog of War here. Okay. Make sure I am on the right layer. And maps and stuff. Fatimah Forest. Drop in. Alright, now I can start moving you guys over. Okay, it's gonna be black for a second while I get the map set up. Okay. Go like that. How does the scale work out with relation to the characters? Pretty good. So it is 35 tall. Let's try 32 tall. Tall. Come on, cat, back off. That's my giant pile of food and drinks. So everyone is seeing a blank screen right now, correct?
Yes. It's all
Yep.
black.
Alright, where's my reveal tool? Polygon reveal. Click. 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 And then one more point right here. Alright, you guys can see some stuff now? Alright, characters incoming. Objects and tokens.
Random side note.
Yeah.
There's the Golden Girls episode with Don Cheadle about the Confederate flag. And he's giving Blanche Devereaux the fire. It's some good shit.
Golden Girls is a gift.
It is. Really good show.
Okay. Okay. I'm dropping a bunch of characters on the map. One of you is responsible for going through and counting them and making sure I'm not missing anyone.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14.
Let's see. Comms room, forest, overworld map. I'll need monsters eventually, but I don't need them to start. Okay. So, you guys have just climbed south from the mountain. You guys had... Alright, you had a number of vehicles. I need to grab your vehicles, actually. Because, at least at the start of this, that's what you're going to be on. Those are your drop pods.
Wasn't the agreement last time that some people would be taking our vehicles? Like I'd be riding with Amil
Yeah.
and Wraith in his vehicle,
Yep.
while others ride in others.
Let me go to sprites. Let me go to mechanical, ground vehicles, and here's a just straight up Jeep. Let's see. While that's coming down, we also have some vehicles over here that I can drop in. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
¿Dónde está el música? La música. Back
You guys do not have Aveline's space shuttle with you, correct? Because it would have been too dangerous to get down to planet.
I think we made that agreement last time.
Oh my god. I did not know that this was animated.
With that little like rumbly.
Did you not know that you could add gifts? Because
it was
that
the
changes
first time
this
you've
entire
shown this.
game.
Shocko.
This is the first time you've shown this.
Huh?
This is the first time you've shown this truck.
Yeah,
Yes.
everything's gonna have to be a gift now.
And
Yeah.
this terrifies me. Whoever's this is.
That's Amil's mech. It was around at some
It's
point.
got like a baby face, but deer legs.
Yeah,
What
no,
the
it's Ed
fuck?
209's younger cousin.
Yeah, and like Emil's legs kind of just like hang down from it. Kind of like
Oh god.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I
You know those roller coasters where you kind of have like one of those seats that you get like swing kids in, but so your feet kind of hang down?
Yeah.
That's
So-
that's it.
Have you seen the Animatrix before?
Yes, I have.
So you know this the scene where they like they're the humans doing the war against the robots, and they have like these mech suits, and at one point the robots come forward and like tear the humans out of the mech suit. That's what this reminds me of. Like with half the suit being torn off.
Oh no, I was muted. Say it again.
Oh, if they tear me out of the mech, and they tear me limb from limb, they'll just have to fight two of me now.
Or however many
Oh
limbs
god,
they
that's
tear
so
you
disturbing.
into.
Yeah. There will just be a single arm just like punching them.
Morgan, I showed you the page that had all the sprites from the Ragnarok Online game, and they're just the best sprites that have ever been made, right?
Yes, you did.
They're good because they're all animated, and now that I've learned that I can include animated gifts, I have a moral obligation to. So
Mhm.
I think you
just-
do.
that's going to be a work in progress in the background while I go. Just going to save that there. Okay, and just as we go, I think I'm just going to drop in a nice, terrifying or interesting GIF every now and then. Okay, so you guys have headed south from the mountain. You achieved your first objective, which was to send out the SOS beacon and cut off their communication lines so they aren't able to send a like planet-wide distress signal. Now that doesn't mean that local xenotians are not going to be able to see you. That will still be the case. Here it is.
Oh, the music is on. It was just low.
Okay. So, you guys get to the south of the mountain, and you chose that you wanted to go through the forest rather than across the northern half of the continent because you didn't want to cross that big open bridge where you had, like, nowhere to hide, basically. Oh, yeah. Oh, man, this is a game changer. Look at that.
Dude!
Okay. That's not an enemy you're fighting. That's just gonna be some ambiance.
Hey, let's not go near that thing.
Yeah. that's the general aesthetic of what this forest looks like, though, because you can tell that this used to be a beautiful forest. If you think of any given piece of media where you see elves in a forest, think of that forest. Except now the forest has this like fleshy goop growing all over it, much like this thing that I just dropped down there. And it looks much less inviting than it probably once did. So on this map, I've drawn a bunch of circles and a bunch of squiggly chunks. The squiggly chunks can be navigated through, but they are like dense shrubbery that's going to be hard for you to get through. The circles are big trees, and then between the trees there's like deer paths. Let me check something. I actually need to scale you guys up a bit. Okay. Yes. So, if I recall correctly, you have 2 jeeps carrying like most of your crew, and then you've got Ruda's Wraith, Amil's scout machine, and everyone else is in trucks. I'm going to drag people behind the trucks that they're presumably in, but if you disagree with my placement, just move your dude.
Who's driving the trucks, and do they have to take piloting checks?
Who's Malati again?
Malati is the Aelfin, for lack of a better word, paladin. She's the one that's from this planet, and she has like, gosh dang it. Come on, Mesa. We're gonna fit all of you guys on this thing if I have to squeeze it. Okay. And these 2 can run alongside. So this is our whole giant caravan.
And what are these again?
Those are Mesa, who is come on, let me click on her. God damn it. This girl, she's an engineer, and she has combat drones that are essentially like fighter dog things with machine guns on them that she uses for fighting. So those are just running alongside your vehicles. So
Roy is looking wistfully at the drone dog things.
So you need to get to a land that's like far to the west. The forest.
Straight to the west.
Yeah, the forest kind of wraps around the base of this mountain, up fairly far to the north. So there's not a more direct way to get there than by just cutting through the forest. So you guys can show me how you intend to get through this forest.
I feel like Ruda and Amil are taking the lead in the formation.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Okay. So it might make more sense for Amil to be in the front, just because Amil is a good pilot.
Yeah. So if
whereas
Amil's in the front, I think Ruda's probably
happens to have a big sword.
yeah, Ruda's probably taking up the rear.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, you moved me. Okay, cool. Look at those cute little trucks.
They're good trucks.
They're very good trucks.
Okay. To front. To front. Okay. So you guys are heading south through this, basically the first break in the trees that you see. You don't have anything you want to do to prep before.
What is that?
That's just I wanted an excuse to drop in a GIF, and also it has the general mood of what the trees around here look like.
Okay.
Because they're beautiful, pristine trees that are covered in this like swarming, just undulating flesh used stuff. So polygon reveal, click, click, click. So you get the feeling that normally this forest would be kind of dark, just based on having a thick canopy, but it is very dark because in addition to the thick canopy, there's this like fleshy webbing growing between all of the trees that's totally blocking out the sun. Or maybe not totally, but it's fairly dark. It's around noon now, and you get the impression that this is probably as bright as a forest would normally be at like 10 p.m. Okay.
Roy looks around and says, "Timber evenfall, an ominous truck travel whilst watching the dogs."
Melodi's just like, okay.
Yeah, that's canon. So, our people, how do you want to proceed?
Did my upgraded sensor suite, when I got the upgraded sensor suite, did that include upgraded sensors for my mech?
No, that was just for the Galunga.
Oh, that's sad. I can upgrade that later. I proceed with caution.
Okay. It occurs to me that you guys have a scout in your party, and your scout is not in the scouting team. Do you guys want to remedy that? Maybe have him like sit on one of the mech's shoulders or something?
I was actually going to say that Roy is actually not inside of the trucks. He's on his mag platform, just kind of like going along with the direction of the party. But
do we want to have?
Would it be possible to use my drone to also scout forward a little bit?
Yeah, that's the like intended function.
Yeah, I think
literally the intended function of the disc drone.
Yeah, I think Roy would have his disc drone like projecting a hologram that makes it look like one or two members of the party, so that if anything is going to attack us, it's going to attack those first. But it's also just scouting ahead of where we are.
Okay, cool. So, let me grab a new tea bag. Heating. So you come to the first opening in this like deer path that you're walking down. The deer path opens up to the west, and there's also a path that heads east. To the west, you can see that there's a small pond is not the right word for it. A small pool of water with a little bank around it that you could climb down. And then you could travel either north or south.
Is that there?
Yep.
Okay.
Of the pool of water.
Can I look
A
at the
still
pool of
pond,
water?
trembling with anticipation,
Sure.
hiding the horrors of this land.
Sure. You open up your character. Actually, hold on. Your mech has a separate character sheet. Alt, double click. Oh, what? Does it not? Here we go. Amil's recon frame. Not sure why that wasn't saved. So, your recon frame has a sensor bonus of 1, which is on top of your piloting skill of 5 now, right? It went up?
Yeah,
Or did your engineering go up?
my piloting. Wait, did you not change it?
I did, but this is not linked to your character sheet.
Oh.
Skills.
Let's see.
I know it was one of those two.
Hardware went up.
Hardware is 5. Did you do piloting too?
Nope.
Piloting's still 4. Okay. So,
Should I just roll pilot and we add 1 to that?
actually, I have a sensor suite.
Oh.
So,
Roll that.
Oh,
holy Jesus.
that is a roll.
God damn.
You rolled a 5 and a 6 plus 5.
Uh-huh.
Jeezy crazy.
I
Yeah.
also just want to make sure real quick. Amil is the one that's standing there with his mech, right?
Yeah, he's technically inside his mech.
Okay, there's a second copy of him that I can see on the map. It was confusing me, that's all.
I'll delete him.
It's up and to the left.
Oh my god.
Doppelganger!
Yeah, I saw just my head. That's why I was up there to start.
Get out of here, King.
I
Doppelus.
put that down because I needed to test the size of the map in relation to your characters.
What I'm trying to get out of it is, I assume that, like, you know, it's a teeming forest, right? This pool is gonna have some life in it. Has all the life been corrupted?
So,
Like, down to the bacteria in the liquid.
corrupted is the wrong word because that would imply that it is the same life form but changed. These are, it's like replaced. There's a lot of, you know what? I was going to say there are a lot of like bones sitting. At first I was going to say you see a lot of corpses, but then I was like, no, they would be more efficient than that. They would use all the material from the corpses to feed their people so they can like grow and stuff like that. And I was going to say there's a bunch of bones laying around, and then I realized this is essentially a robotic horde of flesh. So they're very, very efficient. So there's not even any skeletons behind. I actually think it's very creepy that you don't see like anything. It's weird to be in a forest and not see like any animal corpses or old like deer bones or anything like that.
So would they have even gone so far as to like? Would they have gone so far as to like take all of the leaves off of the ground because that's plant material that can be used?
I'm going to say no, and my reasoning for that is I think these things are almost exclusively carnivorous, and they have no plant associations. So I'm trying to draw a hard line between any time you see plant-based technology or plant-based stuff, it means Aelfin, and anytime you see like meat-based stuff, it means Xenotian.
Okay.
So no, the forest is actually remarkably intact. What you do find is there's no normal animal life living in the
Bacterial
water.
life?
I think there is bacterial life, but it's not native bacterial life.
Okay.
It's not normal bacteria. It's actually, well, I don't think you would be able to tell, anything about the function. What I will say is it's not normal bacteria. It's probably did not evolve organically. And the big sea life, water life that you see is there's a lot of what are those fish that lie flat against the is it flounders that lie flat against the floor and they have both eyes on the top?
Uh-huh.
Okay, you see a lot of creatures in the water that are kind of like flounders and also kind of like anglerfish and also very big. And they're all settled in neatly against the bottom of the river, so a person would not see them if they just like inspected the river.
But my sensor suite picks them up.
Mm-hmm.
No one
Because you rolled a fucking 16.
No one fall in the river. You will be eaten in instants.
Yeah.
An instant, not multiple instants. One.
Question to the DM.
Mm-hmm.
Ruda and Amil are in giant robots. Does that mean that we have megaphones to, like, when we need to communicate with the party, we just have, like, something on the outside acts like a microphone?
So, Emil does, because he's in an actual robot. You're not in a robot.
Yeah.
You're in a plant-based, bioorganical creature that you're riding.
But Emil does.
I'm trying to think if your thing... I think that it actually... Sound production is probably one of the big, like, gaps that it does not have, because I think producing sound is one of those big things that I cannot think of any justification for how, like, a plant would do it, whereas animals are real good at making sounds. Plants, pretty quiet. I mean, it's science fantasy. We could say otherwise, but I think it's thematically fitting that it's, like, one weakness is that it can't...
noise.
Yes, it doesn't have, like, speakers. By the way, I'm going to add that as an aspect. But, that said, so yes, you have...
should make that aspect quiet, so it can be invoked for good or bad.
I like that, okay.
Yeah, that's cool.
So, party members, what do you want to do from here? You've got
continue on the route
around the pond. You've got the south route around the pond.
Let's go south.
Okay.
As I said, he'd be right back, but I think he's going first.
Oh, okay. I'm giving Morgan, I'm giving your vehicle the aspect deathly quiet, because I think that's just a little bit sexier. Okay. That thing's creeping me out. So, let's start by, we will have Roy... I duly noted that Roy is scouting out ahead. But you guys are heading to the south, and you're heading to the south around the stream, right? Not away from the stream?
Yep.
Yeah, follow the water.
Okay. So let me expand on this a bit. Oh, by the way, so it's very dark in this forest. Are you guys just using, like, flashlights, or do you have a more subtle... Because the thing with flashlights is it's a giant beacon, but probably a big stomping mech in an otherwise silent forest is as well. So
I
actually, yours is a recon mech.
feel
So it can
like
be fairly
it's a
silent.
recon mech, so...
Yeah.
Well, in addition to it being fairly quiet, I feel like it being a recon mech should have, like, night vision goggles. That seems like a pretty reasonable thing to include in a recon mech.
I can get on board with that. Boy,
Roy's drone produces a soft ambient light in the areas that it's looking in, and his mag platform also has a small series of lights on it. So they're not, like, super bright, like a flashlight pointing in a direction or anything, but think more like a Pip-Boy in Fallout.
I want you to know that I'm definitely imagining, like, when people do the, like, LED lights on the underside of their car.
Yep.
Mixed with the aesthetic of, like, gamer computers.
Mm-hmm.
Your character's just standing on a gamer computer right now.
Check out my new Alienware rig, guy.
Yep, that's what I was going to do. Okay. So you head south. So when you see the stream and you see a, like, little section coming away from the stream, like you do... Oh, Let me go to my cursor. Like you do here and here. Those are banks that you could use to walk down to the stream. When the main section comes right up to the stream, like you see here and here, that means that it's like a cliff side. Does all of that make sense?
How tall is the cliff?
Like 10 feet or something. It's just enough for it to be that you cannot. Actually, 10 feet is bigger than I was thinking. It's like 5 feet. It's big enough.
It's like
that...
when you go down to the creek and there's like an erosion thing.
Yes, I was literally thinking of that creating
Okay.
drawing this map.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And this is a fallen tree that is stretching across the creek. I will go ahead and, because I think it's fair, and you wouldn't actually have your vision cut off halfway through.
Are people just hanging back while we scout it out, or are they coming with us as we move through?
Yeah, I would say that at least our truck would probably be heading around, like to there.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Oh boy.
Well, that's just another thing I need to do. So I'm going to go ahead and reveal this part of the map too then. Get that whole chunk shown up. So let's grab you guys. So you guys drive around and you see that there's a stream here, so you can't drive down it to meet up with them. Maybe you could ford your Jeep either straight over the stream or kind of try to cut around this corner, but water, dirt, mud might be complicated.
Yeah, I feel like the truck would be built for that.
I'm alright with that. So do you guys want to wait a while and see what they come across, or do you want to try to catch up with them somehow?
Yeah, if Aveline's cool with it. I would see us kind of like waiting here for, since they're the forward moving party.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm fine with hanging back too. I've got the mobility that I can catch up to them if I need to, but I'd like to cover more ground if possible.
All right, scouting party. So I'm moving you forward to like the current chunk of the area. There's one tree in the middle here, and I think your mechs have to kind of like duck a little bit to get under the tree branches. And then you've got this fallen tree. So I stopped the fallen tree here, but that was actually to indicate that it's not. It goes. I think the fallen tree goes all the way across the river, but it is it's not a bridge. It's like a diagonal. Like the tree's roots are intact. It just looks like the tree has tipped. Like the tree was on the edge of a cliff. The cliff eroded away underneath it. It tipped, so it's now at like a 45-degree angle. So a person could probably like run up that tree
And then jump.
and jump and get across, but it's not a bridge where you could just like, get across it easily.
I want to do that. You turn to use the whole
Yeah.
Feels very successful. Oh, good. I love this.
So, another thing to note. Oh yes, the other thing is just that you guys are in mechs, which makes all of this a little bit
More cumbersome.
Yes, you're probably not going to be doing any parkour over fallen trees.
Roy is though.
Roy's
going to go right across that tree to the other side of the river or
Like-
stream.
On the mag platform?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay,
you just
cool.
hover over it.
Terrain is not my master.
Can you move a mill to this point here?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll.
So.
Oh God.
Okay. Roy, I'm gonna go ahead and reveal the area around you that you can see. Let's go
Okay.
with. I'm just gonna reveal this whole chunk here.
Yeah, because the drone's going ahead of me too. So
Yeah. Can you make a perception check?
show.
Or maybe it's notice or whatever I'm calling it these days.
Skills. Perception. Uh-oh. Low perception. Oh, well.
Okay. Yeah, so as you fly across the from the underside of this tree, you see a tentacle kind of reach out and wrap around your leg very quickly. And as it pulls you off of your mag lift, is that what it's called?
Mag platform.
Yeah.
Since I was up at the bank, could I take one quick pot shot at it to see if I can, like...
So it's going to get him off of his mag platform, but I will allow you to get a response attack against it.
I'm going to shoot at the base of the tentacle.
Okay. And now that you've seen it move, you get a rough idea of the what its kind of shape is, and you think that it's probably shaped kind of like a jellyfish or maybe a gooey squid that was pressed tight up against the bottom side of this tree. So
I got an 8.
Okay, so with an 8, you did not hit it.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm going to say you took a pot shot with your. Does your thing have a built-in gun?
No, but I can also shoot with...
Oh, right, because you're just hanging out of it.
I'm kind of like, I hang out of it.
Okay, well, yes, then that's going to make a loud noise, which is louder than the already noise of a couple of mechs crashing through the thing.
So I was going to say that I think it would make more sense if that thing whipped at my ankle and kind of got me like upside down on the mag platform, because it has to connect to Roy's feet in order for him to like actually use it, or else he'd just be sliding off all the time.
You're right. Yes.
So he's kind of like just flying upside down and just like, the fuck.
Okay, yeah, so here's what happens. You were moving forward, it grabbed you, and you keep that forward momentum, but you're now pivoting around a central point, which is the slime monster. And since it is underneath you, it kind of pivots you straight down, face first into the water. I will give you a chance to react. So your boots are like attached to your mag platform, right?
Correct.
So you can let me know if there's something you think Roy could do in reaction here, and I'll let you roll for it. But I don't think you can just jump off of your board because, as we've established, you're strapped in.
I think, hold on, let me look at my, it's not in my aspects. Maybe it's in my stunts. Okay, yeah. So I was thinking, and I don't know if I would have to use one of my skills for this, either my acrobatic skill or the free runner stunt. I would use that to try to right myself and disconnect from the mag platform before I like drag further down into the water.
Roll in acrobatics and let's see what happens.
I mean, that's adequate, right?
It's a 10. What, an average 7?
Yeah, but you're trying to do something very complicated.
Yeah.
10 is like doing a nice ollie off of a ramp. What you're trying to do is do an ollie off of a ramp while on a snowboard and also detaching yourself from the snowboard in the ollie. So here's what I will allow. You're not able to get yourself off of the board, so you are going to go into the water, but you're going to pivot yourself so you're not falling head first into the water, you're falling feet first into the water. Sound good?
Makes sense.
Ruda's gonna try to rush to like.
Actually, hold on. Before you do that.
Okay.
You know what? No, with an acrobatics of 10, that's fine. I really want to give you a hard choice here of like either you land flat and you get like stuck in the mud, or you land sharp on the board and you damage your board. But you rolled good enough that it doesn't make sense to give you that predicament. So you're in the water, but you're not in a bad position. Ruda, what did you want to do?
We try to rush into the water and pick Roy up.
On foot, or with your Mac?
In the wraith.
Interesting. So is it like the wraith is reaching down past the tree and plunging its arm into the water?
Yeah. And like, actually in the water.
Oh, your wraith is going into the water.
Yeah, I'm just gonna like kind of try to step over the tentacle slime thing, and then like Jagara is going to try to save Roy.
Can you roll a maneuver bonus on your
Ruda
vehicle?
or the wraith?
The wraith.
I don't know if the wraith has any skill.
No, it does. Go to your character, go to the vehicle tab, which I currently have open, and then if you scroll down just a little bit, you'll see skills. There's a maneuver skill. Let me know if you don't see that.
Mikhail, I think we should do a music change.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to. I'm trying to find something good.
Sorry, Brad, I'm on the Wraith Frames character sheet. Should I be on Ruda?
No. Wraith Frame, you have a maneuver bonus of 2.
Yeah, it's weird. It wasn't showing up when I clicked on the Wraith Frame. It didn't show up, but when I go to Ruda's, it does.
Yeah, the Wraith Frame isn't connected to its character sheet yet.
Oh, I see.
Okay, so roll maneuver.
Roll.
11's pretty good. So here's what I will add. Even with an 11, I think that you accomplish this, but you don't accomplish it with a great degree of subtlety. So as you reach over this kind of tipped over tree, your wraith, what's her name?
Jagara.
Jagara? Alright, so Jagara has to kind of like rest a knee on this tree in order to get into a good position, and that sends the tree crashing down into the stream. So a few things have happened. Jagara has an arm, has its hand around Roy. The tentacle monster still has its leg wrapped around Roy's leg. But now, when you start pulling, when Jagara starts pulling her hand out, she sees that there's a mesh of like 5 different tentacle monsters that have wrapped around her arm. And whereas one of them would be small enough that she can just pull out of it effortlessly, with 5 of them together and maybe anchored against something, she can't easily get out of what's happening. We're going to do Amil again, and we'll go back and forth.
These abominations are reaching for greatness, I see.
Give me a second. Good.
Yeah.
He's also referring to Ruda as an abomination, by the way.
Very good.
I wouldn't put it past Roy.
So I'm party in the Jeep. You guys are only, you guys are close enough that you can kind of see this happening. You probably don't have a clear picture of what's happening because there's a couple mechs in the way and stuff. But you do see just a lot of commotion, and you hear splashing, and you hear the sound of a struggle. I want to give the Jeep group as a unit 1 turn to make an action.
Y'all cool with fording this little bit of water? Is it possible for the Jeep to do that?
how's your either pilot or hardware?
Give me a sec.
Oh, I know exactly what I'm gonna do next time I get a chance.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay, so that hardware was to ask the question.
Nice.
Yeah, this Jeep will go across a it'll go across a stream. This stream's only like maybe 7 feet wide and maybe like a foot deep at its lowest point. So the Jeep will be able to cross it. But you do know that there's those things in the water, and that could prove a challenge. So it's your call.
Yo, and hey, is you cool with this? If my team is cool with this, I think I'd like to try it.
Okay. Aveline is driving, right? Aveline's the only person here who has a good piloting skill.
I
Otherwise,
definitely think
you are-
Aveline
Yeah.
is driving. I'm shotgunning, but Aveline has to be driving.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
That's good. So, you guys, you kick it into a. You would want to use a low gear for this, right? You put it into a low gear and you just like shotgun across. As you're going across, the water gets high enough that like your feet get wet at one point. But you do manage to get across. However, as you are coming off the other side, you see that there's a handful of these fish creatures that they saw, except you now see that these fish creatures have appendages with like functional hands at the end of them, and they are grabbed onto the side of your Jeep and pulling their way into the open door, as every Jeep has open doors. So you guys now have some fish monsters climbing their way into your vehicle while mid-drive. And we'll circle back to that in just a second.
Cool.
Other group. Yeah, I'm gonna say right away. Because I don't think this is going to turn into an actual conflict, I don't want to deal in stress. I just want to say, Roy, can you make a tough check for me?
Show.
Alright, and while you're doing that, I'm gonna go look up.
13.
Oh,
13 is very good.
Ooh, that's pretty tough.
Tough
Okay.
son of a bitch.
13 is enough that you're not going to have any issues. But yes, essentially you have this surprisingly strong jellyfish creature grabbing onto your leg and a mech grabbing you from above, and they're doing like tug of war with your body.
I had a solution for that, aside from toughness.
Okay, so yeah, shoot.
Roy uses hard light object and goes porcupine and shoots out spikes all over his body.
That's very good. I am going to need you to roll resolve for that.
Okay. Somewhat of a resolute son of a bitch. Oh God, who posted the old Mikhail?
What? You said tough.
Like, well, I'm not hungry anymore. Fuck yeah, Armstrong.
Okay, I'll post an actual tough gif.
Okay, I'm looking at the Jeep party right now, and the whole party standing behind the Jeep with the enemies in front of it, and then the little bit of animation there in the middle makes it just absolutely delightful.
Yeah, that is very superb.
I could stand it. I could stare at this all day. What is happening?
I just
Okay.
became a porcupine. I rolled a 13 tough and then a 10 resolve.
Okay, so with a 10 resolve, it's not going to be enough for you to, Okay, with a 10 resolve, here's what I'll give you. You get the one that was wrapped around your leg off of you, but the ones that are wrapped around, Jarina? Is that her name? Ruda? Morgan?
Jagara.
Jagara. The ones that are wrapped around Jagara's wrist are not taken off by this. And she gets pulled a little bit more into the water, like they give her a good yank, and she has to use her other arm to catch herself. So she has dropped her sword on the ground beside her, and now has one hand on the sandy embankment, and the other hand pulling it out of the water.
Okay, Jagara just goes full on with that cannon into the direction of the water where the slimy things are.
Now, you do know that where the slimy things are is like directly underneath the Troy.
Okay, yeah, but like shooting it in like enough distance away from Roy to like try to scare the things loose.
I would imagine that would be pretty cool scene of Roy goes porcupine, frees himself of the squid thingy tentacle monster. The mech gets pulled down a little bit into the water or onto the embankment and fires off its shoulder cannon, and the force would like throw Roy back because he's still like partly on his mag platform, maybe. And
So I'd
be down with getting thrown.
I don't think that weapons bonus is the best thing to roll here. Fuck it. Let's roll weapons bonus.
Bonus?
That's weapons bonus on your vehicle. Ooh, 10.
Plus 3? Or no?
If size is a relevant factor. You know what? Here's what I will add. Size is a relevant factor on two fronts. Size is a relevant factor in whether or not you get Roy, get these things off of your arm, but also whether or not Roy gets injured here. So, I'm gonna say you do get your arm free, and Give it to me
Jagara.
again. Jagara.
Jagara.
Okay. Yes.
Thank you for the Foley work.
That's what Roy. That's the noise that Roy is making.
Yeah. Jagara goes flying backwards and essentially ends up on her butt with Roy inside of her this whole time.
Oh God.
Sorry, not Roy. I meant to say Ruda. So Roy.
Okay, I was confused as fuck for a minute. I was like, what?
Just keep saying, you're getting shot again.
So Ruda's neck is on her butt. Roy has been tossed across the to the other side of the stream. You do have. Ooh. Hey Roy.
There was some gratuitous Michael Bay slow-mo right there. What's up?
Your mag platform got damaged in that. It can be repaired, but that's just something you guys are going to have to be aware of.
Is that an aspect?
Fucking organics.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it'll just be like an engineering check for you guys to.
So what kind of damage does that imply? Like, can I not use it at all, or is it a limited capacity, or what?
Okay, here's what I will allow. The jet component of it that provides forward thrust is working. The lift component is not working. So you can use it if you need to shoot yourself across the ground like a rocket, but you cannot fly with it.
Okay.
We'll come back to that in a second. For right now, Ruda, Amil, people in the Jeep. Who wants to do something?
So the slimy things are off Jagara? Okay, yeah, Jagara's just like she's gonna pick herself up and Ruda is gonna be like, "Kill them, son of a bitches." And Ricardo's just gonna like take, blind swings and stabs in the general direction.
She picks up her sword and kind of stands over the stream and just splashes it into the water.
She just woke up from a nap. She's very cranky.
Fuck, I forgot that she has the attribute sleepy. I love her so much. You're sleepy tree mat. You're fucking inside of Treebeard. That's what your character is.
Ruda is like the most energetic person alien
I love
ever.
this so much. Okay, it's good. So I will say with that, you manage to, you can't tell exactly the status of what's going on under the water because it's turned into a big purple, blooded, brown, muddy mess. Like you
Chicago
can't
just keeps, she's shooting too.
But you
in
have,
addition to her sword.
you have thoroughly, probably nothing down there is active right now. Amil, do you have anything you want to do? Because otherwise I'm going to go to the people in the Jeep.
So I am actually going to try to hop over the river because I'm expecting with the commotion there to be like an attack, and I don't want Roy to be the only one on this side of the river.
I like that.
So I'm jumping over, and with my gun out, I'm kind of just like scanning like the frontier.
Rudy's got your back.
So, people in the Jeep, I would like to see, is it fair to assume that you guys are going to try to use your momentum that you've just built up to hop across this other stream and end up where Amil and Roy are?
I mean, with the weird things on the Jeep, how hard is that to do?
We're going to get to that in a second. I guess this is actually a question for Aveline, because she's the one driving. Aveline, nobody else is telling you, nobody's going to tell you what to do. You don't have time for that. You have to make a split-second decision. Do you stop and deal with the problem and lose all of your momentum, or do you keep your momentum and try to hop across the next stream?
Keep the momentum.
Fuck yeah.
Yep.
All
yes.
right.
Awesome. Yes.
Mate and Anwar, you have a whole bunch of these fish slug things crawling their way into your Jeep. They're dangerously close to gnawing on your legs. Mate, I want you to make one, presumably shoot check, and Anwar is going to take his SMG and do his own shoot check.
Oh, I wasn't even going to ask a question. I was already pulling out my gun.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Okay, so Anwar, inventory, submachine gun.
Do I just roll shoot, or should I roll the ability on my weapon?
Just roll shoot. We don't have something like
shit.
Okay, and let me see how Anwar does. Anwar did mediocre. So
yeah, can I fix that? I need to fix that. I can't just. Yeah. It's right there.
Spend a fate point, but you're gonna need to give me a justification for why. Aspect.
Let's see. Yeah, if these things are getting real close to us, I probably don't even shoot. I'm going to use the grip of my gun, and I'm going to pistol whip one of the things out of the car.
Okay, and your gun has like a grip special.
Yeah, it has an enchanted grip.
Fuck yeah. Okay. Fuck, that's very good. Okay. Enchanted grip, I will let you roll again. Actually, I'm sorry. You're gonna have to roll melee this time.
Bullshit.
Okay, yeah, so, Anwar and Mate both have the things climb inside. You guys are going to have a consequence because of that. But Aveline, this means that right around the time when you have the Jeep, like, right here, you, are going to hear one of them make a loud noise, presumably a girly scream, and, you see maybe in your rear view mirror or like just your peripheral vision, you see that there are these horrifying fish leech things in the Jeep with you, probably just 2 feet away from you. I'm going to need you to make a... No, I want it to be a tough check. Don't you guys feel like that's the right one?
For
For keeping her shit, like keeping a clear head and just punching through and not letting herself get distracted.
Yeah.
I think it's tough.
That's definitely tough.
Yeah.
Guys, you really don't want me to do a tough check. Full disclosure.
And Aveline, I want you to know, if you roll really badly at this, I have a thing that I want to happen. So, give me that tough check.
Wow. Alright, cool. Looks like we're going into the water.
Oh shit!
I told you guys that I shouldn't have done a tough
You're
check.
giving me a gift, Aeneas, because...
I thought that for a second because I had to get a cup of coffee. What the fuck happened?
Aeneas, wait, does this mean that Aeneas freaks out and teleports to her boyfriend's house?
Hold on. You know when somebody does the like 2 for flinching thing, like they punch you and then you see if you flinch? Aveline does that, except instead of flinching, Aveline does in fact teleport. You rolled the worst. You rolled the worst possible. Literally, statistically, the lowest number that is able to exist in this game.
Wow.
Aveline, you're definitely in Nox's shipwreck, and I think you definitely just appeared in Nox's bedroom. We'll take that from there. Anwar and Mate, you guys are suddenly, you find yourself in a Jeep that has just crashed nose first into the bottom of this stream. There are more things just piling in by the second, and you notice that Aveline is no longer there.
This is a mistake.
I get a turn?
Go ahead and take a turn.
Okay, do I hear that? Do I have to roll perception?
No, it was big and like 10 feet away from you.
I'm just coming over here with my mech, and it's extending, because its legs are kind of like this, right? I'm just extending a leg, like I'm planting my hands here and extending a leg out like that. I know nobody saw what I just did, but I'm extending one of those big long legs out towards Mate and Anwar.
So my only problem with that is that your thing doesn't have solid, good arms for that. Its arms are basically like human-sized arms. I'll allow them to be extensible, but they definitely can't hold up the weight of the rest of the mech. So I think if you're going to use your legs like that, I think it has to sit on its butt and stretch its leg out.
Fine, I sit on my butt, and I'm scanning around with my sniper rifle.
Okay, go ahead and make a... Do we have anything that's like a reflex check?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's it. That's the one.
It's so perfect.
Expose yourself
So
to the
perfect.
thing we just created for you.
Yeah. Also, it just occurred to me that we barely have a skill called Resolve, which I could have used instead of Tough, but that doesn't matter. What happened, happened.
Would it be Intuition, maybe, Brim?
Yeah, let's go with Intuition. Roll Intuition. 9's not terrible. Okay, so With a 9, you are able to shoot back some of the things that try to climb in with them while they grab onto your leg.
Well, do they grab onto my leg? That's up to them.
Yeah, it is. I'm gonna say, at this point, ooh.
Like, is this enough water that the Jeep is done for? Like, we're pretty much on the top of it?
So it's only like 2 feet deep, but it's engine first, 2 feet deep in the water, and like maybe a foot deep in mud. You could recover this, but it would be a whole ordeal.
Yeah, this. I'm gonna look at Anwar and I'm gonna go, this thing means nothing to me, and I'm gonna start running towards Amil's leg.
Okay.
I think seeing the chaos that's going on over there, Roy would take his mag platform and put it on the water. And since the thruster is still working, he would kind of use it as like a surfboard speedboat. And
Nice.
zoom over here and grab Mate, because Mate is not an organic and the only one that Roy would think to try and rescue.
Okay.
Hey.
Can you roll I think this is gonna be a pilot check.
Pilot?
Yeah, because you're literally using a vehicle in a way that is hard to do. I would allow hardware because it's not.
Yeah, I have a 1 in both for some reason.
Is it
Like, what the fuck?
Huh?
is he flying over with the mag
He
platform?
can't fly with the mag platform. He's speedboating with the mag
Oh,
platform.
jeez.
Yeah, I thought that I would think that this would take some acrobatic skill more than it would take hardware, because it's working enough to thrust forward, and I'm not really piloting it
What's your
because
acrobatic skill? What's your acrobatic skill?
4.
Okay.
You also need balance.
So roll hardware, and we'll have a floating +3 that is taken into consideration.
But isn't hardware like fixing stuff like this? Really
So it could also be, yeah, no, I mean, I think that piloting makes the most sense, because the problem is not can he stay balanced on the board, it's can he operate a damaged piece of machinery in a predictable way and make the machinery do what he wants it to do.
Yeah.
And I think that's either hardware or piloting. So it doesn't matter.
All
You're
right.
going to get a somewhere between a +1 and a +4, but let's start with just seeing what the roll is. And
So
then
piloting or hardware?
roll piloting.
Okay.
See, 8's not bad. With an 8, and then taking into consideration that some degree of this roll is acrobatics, which you're very good at. Oh, you know what? Oh, Roy. I think I need to give you another hard choice here.
Okay.
I think your thing doesn't move in exactly the way that you expect it to, because it's a damaged vehicle and like you don't know exactly what its status is and stuff. And just as you're getting close to the ship, or just as you're getting close to the Jeep, it's going to buck to the right towards this shore. So either you can fail at the maneuver, you don't catch Mate, you're on that side of the shore, but you're with your board, or I was gonna say, or you bail from your board and grab Mate and jump off with him, but we've established your board is attached to your legs. So I don't think that's an option. So here's what I will say. You're not injured, and you did get Mate off of the vehicle, but you're on the wrong shore.
All right.
Anwar is going to take Amil's offered leg and climb across, and then start shooting into the water with his SMG. Aveline is in Nox's ship. Ruda, you've got Mate and Roy on your side of the stream. What's happening?
I'm trying to get the truck and all the fish things going. So I'm gonna I think Jagara, I don't know if the truck is too heavy, but Jagara's gonna try to lift it.
We'll get to that. Okay. Okay, so you're grabbing the truck and pulling it out of the water.
Pulling it away from everybody else, yeah.
Oh, okay, interesting. So we'll pull the truck over, like, here. It has been removed from the water.
Okay, and then is that my action, or can I still shoot those fuckers?
So you're not, like, in combat, and also I think that those fuckers are a little bit too small for you to practically shoot, because they're like maybe 2 to 3 feet long.
Oh, well then Jagara just, like, goes on a stomping game. Ruda's like, hey Jagara, how many fish can you stomp in 30 seconds?
Okay. Jagara thoroughly stomps these fish. She also thoroughly destroys any remaining chance of this vehicle being salvaged. Okay. You can keep going. Do you want to just, like, scoop up Mate and Roy and hop across to the other shore or something?
Well, I was alternatively going to use this drone projection to create a short bridge and just walk across.
Yeah. Or hard light, like, either one.
Well, I'd already used that for the porcupine thing, so, yeah.
So, I do want to... I'm alright with this drone projection adding some sense of solidity to holograms, but I think that it's kind of a fragile, like, glass-like solidity. As, like, I want
So it couldn't
Roy's
support
hard
more
light.
than one.
I want Roy's hard light to be a distinct thing that's separate from that, you know?
Right.
So we'll use hard light when you need something that's solid, and use the projection when you need to make a hologram that has some weight.
Okay. So I can use hard light object more than once in an encounter then.
Yeah, you can use it at will.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that.
In the same way that Aveline can just teleport at will.
Right.
So, yeah.
I think I was thinking of it more like stunts or something.
Stunts actually...
Oh, it is a
stunt says what the cost is. So stunts are not once per scene unless it says otherwise, and most stunts that are once per scene allow you to use them more times by spending fate. But your thing is just it's just a new muscle that you have. You can just use it. So Roy and Mate get across the stream on a hard light bridge. Ruda, you just hop across once you're done stomping.
Yeah, do I, am I picking anybody up?
I think they all got across on their own while you were stomping.
Yeah, Aveline's
Everybody
gone.
just backed away from you.
Yeah, okay, that's a good question. You guys would have no reason to believe that Aveline is not in the Jeep, except that Mate and Anwar got, like, a brief view of her not being in the driver's seat. What are you doing?
I think they would have told everybody that, like, hey, is Aveline with you? Because she's not with us.
Yeah, is your assumption that she teleported away, or would your assumption be that she, like, fell out?
Knowing Aveline, I mean, well, Roy would assume that she just teleported away somewhere.
Okay. I'm alright with that. So, the last thing that's going to happen in this scene is,
I would think that the whole group at this point is kind of just like, where the hell is she?
Yeah. So, yeah,
should we stop and turn back and look for her, or should we push forward?
Have to deal with Aveline. So, Aeneas,
I'm really scared to switch back to my perspective.
so here's the thing. the obvious thing would be to say that Nox has a girl in his room, right? But I feel like that's
Yeah.
pretty obvious. It's too easy. So
He's got tentacles in his room now.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
I think what
Fisherman's wife up in here.
let's see. I think that what happens is he's sitting on top of his bed in his underwear doing something on his tablet, and you just pop into existence.
Oh
in his
no.
And there's just like a 10 seconds of incredibly tense silence as you both try to make sense of what just happened. Aveline, I need you are ending this silence one way or another.
I feel like she would stammer a couple of times and then just go for the obvious, well, this is awkward.
Yeah, it is. How are you doing, Aveline? I think he pulls his sheet up over himself at this point. I like that it's absolute silence right now. I think we need the Mikhail, I think we need the music to stop. And we need
Yeah, no, it's about to stop. Man, this is rough.
We're just gonna be living. There's no escape. There's nobody coming to help us out of this scene. We need to just live with this disaster that has happened.
Why have you done this to me?
Roll 3, Aeneas. Yeah, I think
Cause and effect.
yeah. I think there's just you can leave this scene at any time. I think we've established the amount of pain that needs to happen to Aveline in response to her 3. You let me know if anything happens before she dips.
So, you said that, like, he's in the bed in his underwear, he's pulled the sheet up. Is there somebody else in the room, or is it just us?
Ooh, you know what? Yeah, I think after a minute, I think the door opens and somebody, of an androgynous, gender's hard to tell build, walks into the room and looks back and forth between the two of you and goes, "Can I help you?" This person, by the way, is not in their underwear or anything. They are fully clothed. They might just be part of Nox's crew. You don't know.
Oh, God. I feel like...
Yes, right now? Is that what's happening?
There's so much sexual tension in this room right now.
Some kind of tension.
Brandon,
I think Aveline's gonna, like, look back and forth, and then she's just gonna, like, oh, what's a good... Like, I feel like she's gonna reach over and kick a dent into the wall, and then she's gone.
Okay.
Wow, I just pictured that as when Docman hadn't materialized after first being deconstructed in that facility, and then it's just like, oh shit, and like bangs the wall and just disappears with a flash of blue light.
Okay, so normally you can only teleport to a place that you have seen or that you know intimately. I think the fact that all of your companions who you know intimately are gathered together in one place helps. And I think the other thing is that you're in so much shock and in such a, like, moving on intuition that I think you just find yourself back in the driver's seat of this car with no idea of what just happened. Now,
Are my legs still extended?
No, you had to pull them in to get
Okay.
that guy across. What? Your front. Okay, so this is gonna be the last thing that happens in this scene. Aveline, you are in a jeep. There's actually all of the fish things have been dead because Ruda stomped the shit out of them. So actually, I think that the jeep has been flattened like a pancake. There isn't even room for you to appear in the driver's seat, so I think you appear on top of the driver's seat. Like on top of the hood where the driver's seat would be. And you can just see across the stream all of your friends, presumably being worried, but very much just a lot has happened in the past, 30 seconds.
Yeah, this is a lot.
Do you just port over?
I feel like she's actually a little scared to teleport in her current mental state, so she probably just trudges her way through the stream and makes her way back over to them.
You're very lucky that everything inside the stream has been eviscerated. But yeah. Wow!
That really went all the way, huh?
Amil is just gonna be like, "Where'd you go, Aveline?"
I really don't talk right now, Emil. It was awful. It was probably worse than where we're at right now. Let's just move on, okay?
Oh my god.
Amil just has
I'm
the
livid.
shocked Pikachu face, but has actual face.
Ah. Okay.
Did you go to hell?
Something like that. My own personal hell, most likely.
The rainbow organic has returned, and she appears distressed.
Yeah, I'd like to say that the entire group just got a chain email, basically just asking what the fuck just happened.
I really want, I feel like this is one of those episodes where, the episode starts with you guys, at, coming into the forest, and then you get one scene that is right now, and then it does the, how did we get here? Especially because, all of the characters are covered in some amount of, alien blood right now. There's fucking so much going on. Alright guys, you still need to get out of this forest.
Yeah, we're working on it. Those rolls didn't really go in our favor at all. So,
Yeah, there's some tough rolls.
just
Hold on.
back to back to
So-
back.
So there's I wasn't able to depict it very well. There's supposed to be a solid line of trees and shrubbery from here to here. And what you have instead is you have this hill that has opened up. There's a hill and then a tunnel dug through the hill, heading into it. So you can either go through the tunnel, or you can go around to the south where I haven't drawn a map, or you can go check out this big, interesting looking tree to the north. Those are kind of the three directions you can go.
Big interesting tree to the north.
Same.
Yeah, following the scout.
At this point, I think everybody is just following along so they don't have to make their own decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was not cool. Don't want to do that again.
Okay, 1 second. Jesus. I had to get a cookie. I need a cookie right now. Okay.
Gotta get
So-
your blood sugar right.
Well, wait. So this tree has a opening at the base of it that's a little bit like the kind of hole that you might see in a tree because of insects or woodpeckers or something, except the more you look at it, the more you get the sense that it was intentional, and it has much of the same vibe as the the facility you were in earlier that looked like a cave, but it was a cave that just happened to have evolved into the exact shape of the facility. This is a tree that just happens to be a house. It's not like a tree that has been cut into the shape of a house. It's more like a tree that just grew as a house. So yeah, I think you get a peek inside, and I think you see inside there's a kind of like a hive or like a nest, but it looks like the things inside are minding their own business and haven't noticed you yet. But it looks like prior to being made into a nest, this was somebody's house.
How many of these things are they? Like small, like bugs, or are they larger, like rodents, or?
No, the like worker creatures in the nest are like human sized. The
Oh, okay.
like baby creatures in the nest are like baby sized. Human scale.
Roy would look in and probably like, more organic material. And then he would turn around and motion for the party to come and investigate something, which this is. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Ruda's out of the frame. He's out of the wraith frame now. He's on foot.
Okay.
So
He'd
he
probably
goes into-
also like put up a finger, as in like approach quietly. Shh.
So anybody who wants to go inspect can do so. These things are, even with you guys having some like lights and stuff about you, these things do not seem to react to you as long as you're quiet and keep your distance. You don't know whether that's because they don't sense you or they are ignoring you or what. But
Is this large tree like blocking the path? Is it like a throughway, like a tunnel almost, or?
So there is a back door to the house. There's dense shrubbery all around it that, again, you could get through, but you would need to like hack through it like with a machete. The tree just happens to be there. The tree would be the only way through if you didn't want to get your feet dirty.
Okay, so I think once the party gets closer, Roy would I'm not going to say exactly what he says, but Roy would try to initiate a discussion of, hey, we need to get through here. What should we do, guys?
Ruda just quietly
Because Roy will kill them all.
Yeah.
But
Ruda-
I think that would be something that the rest of the party wouldn't want me to do.
Ruda
I mean,
quietly
Ruda
takes
still
out
has
his
that flamethrower.
Oh yeah.
Oh
I'm
god.
Yes,
quietly
that.
taking out my flamethrower right now.
Amil doesn't really have a problem with flamethrowering them.
Wow,
Yeah.
everybody just got real bloodthirsty after that battle, huh?
These
Pissed off, done had it. Had enough.
These things are like Zerg. Nobody feels bad about killing Zerg.
No,
Okay.
that is their natural state.
Well, Roy wasn't sure because they're also organic, so he's like, oh, well, okay, I guess some organics are okay to kill. You all are really terribly consistent.
I am dubiously organic.
So, Ruda, are you gonna get in there with the flamethrower?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna like shoot through whatever doorway I see with all these things in it.
Do they make screaming pig sounds? I feel like they should make screaming pig sounds.
I mean, they make bad noises. So, Ruda lights them up. Some of them are going to. There are some like creatures that look like humans, except they kind of have like bee-like wings on their back. come flying out. You know what? Anybody who has played the God of War 2016 God of War game, the Dark Elves in that game are kind of what I'm imagining. Some of them come flying out, but they're already on fire by the time they leave the building, and Mate and Anwar are able to shoot them down pretty easily. So I don't want to have a fight here. You guys have a huge advantage. These are not combat creatures. You destroy them pretty efficiently, let's say.
Roy's also whipping them out of the sky.
You will not be able to head through this house anytime soon, and in fact, because it is a house that is a tree, that is a dead tree, it's actually lighting up pretty fast.
Good job, Ruda.
And you're burning it from the inside out, so it's it's catching up pretty fast. You're not going to be able to get through it, and in fact, if you stay here, it seems likely that this tree might spread. The fire from this tree might spread.
Can't I just make a hard light tunnel through it? Because this was the path that we were trying to take.
Yeah.
And...
I was going to say if you made the hard light tunnel through it, that the fire would be inside. But if you stick fire inside of a container with no fuel and give it like 10 seconds, you will not have fire.
So that's another way to go about it. I was just gonna like do a tunnel through it that like went in kind of like as a flat line and then spread out and just pushed the flame out of that area.
Roy, if you're gonna do this, encase the whole thing in hard light for like a split second, just to put out the fire so they don't come swarming to us.
So the bigger the area of hard light that Roy tries to manipulate, the more effort it's going to take, and it will very quickly hit a point that he is not able to handle.
Okay.
I don't know if I have an amount on here that I say that you can do.
Yeah, there's not like a space indication, but I didn't think that I could like do it to an indefinite like size or anything.
You can create creating simple objects like a sword, crate, or ladder doesn't require any roll. Likewise, creating any object no larger than 5 feet in any dimension doesn't require any roll. Creating large objects or complicated objects requires a resolve roll. So this is a large object. It's not complicated, but give me a resolve roll.
Yeah, this is a tunnel, so all right. Donde? Ah, there it is.
Okay. 11.
All right.
This is not hard.
Okay.
So that's good enough. Okay, yeah, you make a tunnel and you get through to the other side. This is going to change the pacing or this is going to change the order of events that I had planned a little bit, but it's not disturbing my plans in any way. Okay, you get through. I'm gonna go ahead and reveal this section. Okay.
Before we go into that, can we take 5 real quick? I need to go to the bathroom and feed the cat and water the plants.
Well, actually, I was gonna say I don't really have much. I don't have another map. And you guys have reached the end of this map, so I think this is a good stopping point.
Okay, cool.
What did I want to say?
We made it through the forest.
Okay, yeah. So the adventure continues from there, but it's stuff like what you've imagined. You guys get through it, but it's kind of a mess. The other Jeep, to answer somebody's question from earlier, they had Melody, and I think Melody took them a different way through the forest. This is her homeworld, so I think that she was able to navigate through it a bit more gracefully than you guys were.
Why didn't we follow her? Hey.
Because
we never asked.
Just went.
Okay.
We're the team of do.
So
Right. Think long, think wrong.
you guys are going to meet up with them, like as you come out of the forest, and we will do. Our next game will start with you, approaching the capital city, and
Like the outskirts.
yes, the outskirts of the capital city. And in fact, I'll give you this because I think it sets up the problem that next game has to solve. You get there, there's a big wall around it, and it looks like all of the intended entrances into the city are like entire xenotian battle hives right now. Like it looks like they would be a nightmare to get through. So you guys are going to have to find another way to get into the city, and Melody and Anwar will probably have some suggestions, but we'll address that next time.
Okay.
Alright. This was a very, very fun game.
This is a great game.
This was very unexpected, and I'm expecting some Aveline fan fiction about what happened when she was in that room.
Some fan.
Yeah, we'll I've been planning to make Nox a proper character for ages now. But it's just I have like a quest for each of you guys. And this quest just happens to be the like Ruda kind of mate to a degree because of his relationship with the Notions. That side of things quest, and we'll have a quest for Aveline and Nox at some point.
Oh yeah, because we need history and background.
Yeah. All right, everyone. This was really fun.
This was fun.
Goodbye, everyone.
Another great adventure.
Have a great week.
You too. Bye, everybody.
See ya.
Bye. Have a good weekend.